So in the purport of this verse, Prabhupada talks at great length about the Archa Vigraha form of the Lord. Archa Vigraha. Vigraha means form. Archa means Lord. So the form of the Lord is not different from the Lord. The Archa Vigraha form of the Lord descends upon the request of the bona fide Acharya, the holy teachers, and it is the same as the original form of the Lord. Just like Prabhupada used to give an example, you post a letter in the main post office, in the key general post office, or in the post box in every corner. The letter will reach its destination. So similarly, when you worship Gaurnitai deities, Jagannath, Subhadra, Balaram, Radha, Krishna, if the deities are properly installed by the bona fide Acharya, then these deities are non-different from Durga, from Krishna. So the Archa Vigraha form is not different from the Lord. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a very nice story of Sakshi Gopal to support this statement. That the Archa Vigraha is not different from the Lord. You want to hear the story? Once there were two Brahmins. Both of them were real Brahmins. Once there were two Brahmins and they were going on a pilgrimage. Just like your Russian devotees love to travel from one republic to another, these Brahmins were going to different places of pilgrimage. One was an old Brahmin, the other was a young Brahmin. One was from a very aristocratic family, the other was from a poor family. But both were Brahmins. Brahmin means one who's attached to Krishna, not one who's attached to money making and sense enjoyment. So, the young Brahmin, he had helped the old Brahmin in visiting the different places of pilgrimage. In India, you have so many places of pilgrimage. Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwarka, Haridwar, Rishikesh, Badrinath, Mayapur. India is full of places of pilgrimage. So, the old Brahmin, who was from a rich family, he was feeling very obliged to this young Brahmin. He told the young Brahmin, "You have done so much for me. Without you, I could have never visited all these places. I want to do something to repay my debt to you. I will give you my daughter in marriage." The young Brahmin said, "You are an aristocratic man. I am a poor man. How will you give your daughter in marriage to me?" In India, people are very class conscious. The rich man will not marry his daughter to a poor man and so on. So the young man told the old man, "You want to marry your daughter with me? I, poor man, I have no aristocratic family background, and you are from such an aristocratic background. Your family relatives will never agree to let you marry your daughter." The old man said, "I give you my word. The marriage will definitely take place." The young Brahmin said, "You know the story of Rukmini? Rukmini's father wanted Rukmini to be married to Krishna. But Rukmini's brother, Rukma, said, No, I will not marry Rukmini to Krishna. I'll marry her to Shishupala." So the young Brahmin said, "Your son will do the same thing. You will say, marry her to me, but your son will say, no, marry him to some rich man." So the young Brahmin said, "Okay, since you are so keen to marry your daughter to me, you please give me this promise in front of the Murti of Gopal. Then you will never be able to change it later." So the old man promised in front of the deity of Gopal. So when the old man went to his house and he told his son and everyone what had happened, the son-in-law was very angry. The wife of the old man said, "If you give away my daughter in marriage to that poor Brahmin, I will commit suicide." And the son of the old man was an atheist. He said, "You can tell everyone that this young boy forced you to make this promise, and you never made this promise." So the young Brahmin came to this rich Brahmin's house and said, "You promised your daughter in marriage, so now here I am, I'm ready for marriage." But the family members of this rich man said, "Get out, you thief! You forced our father to give this promise by force," and they beat him up with a stick. So the young Brahmin was feeling very sad that his whole reputation is being ruined. So he called the meeting of the whole village, and he told the village that this old man had promised him in front of the deity of Gopal to give his daughter in marriage, and now he's rejecting it. So the whole village, so all the villagers they went in a group to the old man's house. They said, why are you not honoring your promise? In front of Krishna you gave this promise, you'll give your daughter in marriage. And now you're not doing it. Why are you not doing like that? So, the old man, because his wife had threatened he would commit suicide, his brother had also threatened, that had told him to lie. So the old man, in front of the whole village, said, I never promised this young Brahmin that I'll give my daughter in marriage. And the old man's son said, this rascal Brahmin, he gave my father some drugs on the way and he robbed him of all his money. Now he wants to marry my sister. So now, all these villagers that had come with the young Brahmin to help him, they got completely confused. They said, oh, this young Brahmin looks like a crook. So, it was a question of the young Brahmin's reputation. So, the young Brahmin, he ran to the deity of Gopal. Why? Because the old man and his son had agreed that if this young Brahmin could find any witness to the promise that the old man made, then they would honor that promise. So, the young Brahmin ran to the deity of Gopal. He offered his dandavat and he said, my dear Lord, I'm a devotee, now my whole reputation is at stake. He said, please save my reputation. You were witness when the old man promised his daughter in marriage to me, isn't it? Now the whole village is accusing me of being a thief, and they're thinking that I forced the old man to promise his daughter in marriage. So you please come and testify and save my honor. Please come to the village and tell the people that this old man promised me. So the Lord said, my dear Brahmin, I cannot walk. How will I come to your village? I'm just a deity. I cannot walk. But the Brahmin said, my dear Lord, if you can talk, you can also walk. And then to protect the honor of his Brahmin devotee, Krishna agreed to walk and become a witness. Krishna said, you walk ahead and I will walk behind you. And from my ankle bells there will be noise. But the moment you look back, I will stop walking. So the Brahmin led the deity of Krishna to his village. Then he stopped hearing the noise from the ankle bells. He just looked back, and there the deity of Gopal stopped. But Gopal had come to his village. Then the Brahmin went and called the whole villagers, and they saw, yes, this Brahmin was truthful, and this deity Gopal testified that the old Brahmin had given promise that he was going to give his daughter in marriage to the young Brahmin. And then the old Brahmin, he apologized to the young Brahmin. He said, because of pressure from my wife and son, I had told a lie that I did not promise, but I did promise. So, you like the story? This is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this story has two morals, 2 points to meditate on. One is that the deity of Krishna is non-different from Krishna. If you think here is a deity made of statue, or iron or wood, then it will always remain a statue to you. But if you say here is God with full senses, then this God will even speak to you and talk to you. So, the Brahmin, he had full faith in the potency of the deity. Therefore, this deity agreed to speak and walk. And the other moral